Hi, this is Mark Moneypenny. This is my case study for AEP 858, Module 15, Everyday Counts. The location is Golden Oak High School, where Mr. Rhodes is the principal. The enrollment of the school is 965 students, grades 9 through 12. The extracurricular activities, they have 11 sports. Football is the most dominant. There's 31 different clubs. The residents are mostly of the middle-income families. There's been a recent influx of Hispanic and Asian families. Parents work in the immediate metropolitan area adjacent to the community. Most work for the local industry or manage their own small businesses. And most of the parents have a 1 to 2 hour average commute to work. State policy. The school board policy was aligned with the state law, which the only excused absences were for illness, death in the immediate family member, inclement weather, and a valid reason excused by the principal with prior approval. The school district policy is 5 unexcused absences in a class. The students' grades could be penalized. 10 points would be subtracted from the student's total number of points for the quarter. Golden Oak High School, there are several problems with the instructional program. Attendance has been the biggest concern. 85% of the student population have missed 10 or more days, and this has the lowest student attendance of all the schools in the district. Now, looking at the teachers, the athletic director, and the school counselor, the teachers have a reputation of having a very low turnover rate. A majority have at least 10 years experience in their current position, and usually only have to hire on 1 to 2 additional staff per year. The personnel have applied school policies with their own personal discretion. Attendance problems have been addressed by the homeroom teachers with no input from the administration or the counselors. The athletic director is showing favoritism towards varsity athletes, supporting their absences, and the school counselors had a minor role in settling some of the issues of diminishing student achievement. Moving on to the superintendent, Dr. Newman, he described to Mr. Rhodes a positive relationship with the agencies such as social services and the juvenile court. He wants him to work with these people to try to see if he can get people on track. And he recommends that, like I said, Dr. Rhodes works closely with them with the attendance problems. The students identified with the high absenteeism, there was 5 students. Karen, an 11th grader. Tyrone is in 10th grade. Christina is in 9th grade. Carl's in 10th grade. And John is in 11th grade. We're moving on to Karen. She, in the past, has an A's and B's during her freshman and sophomore years. She's anecdotal notes include that she has positive comments from teachers about the quality of work in the previous years. She's inducted to the National Honor Society her sophomore year. Her quality of work has diminished as her absences have increased. Her permanent record indicates that she was married in August. There are no records in the school counselors that talked about her at all getting married. Parents called the school counselor's office requesting a conference with the teachers. She has 1 or 2 days randomly on Mondays and Fridays throughout the first semester where she was absent, and she did not take one of her midterm exams before Christmas. Tyrone, he is in the honors program. He's missed 14 days in the first semester. He has 2 attachments on his attendance record, documented reasons for his absences. And his handwritten excuse from his mother is for 5 days. His mother attended a professional conference in Washington, D.C. in September. And his father went along with him and deemed it as an educational experience. And the second one was a typed attachment from his father requesting a week off, and his mother could accompany them to Canada. The father said he'd never been to Canada before and listed more educational reasons for missing school. And school policy only allows for students to miss 3 days from school for personal reasons. And Tyrone's homeroom teacher noted that she would excuse this second week of absence. Moving on to Christina. She is enrolled in regular classes. She's missed 4 days in a row during 3 different weeks in the first semester. She was presented with the rest of she was present for the rest of her time. The letters she had letters signed by her minister that asked for her to be excused from school to attend a out-of-state church meeting. The information described in the location of the meetings was not included. Christina's homeroom teacher initialed and dated each letter, approving them as excused absences. Her algebra teacher added a copy to the note requesting a conference with her parents. The algebra teacher explained that she has missed 2 major exams during the first semester due to her absences when she was gone, and she's earned 2 C's and 1 D in the other academic classes. We'll move it on to Carl. He is scheduled in regular classes in the mornings, and he goes to vocational classes in the afternoon. He's transported to the vocational school campus every afternoon, receiving instruction in construction and trade skills and drafting. His pattern of attendance reflected randomly missed days. He was referred to the truant officer in November, who made a home visit. The truant officer reported that his parents did not support strong attendance. If he didn't feel well, they left it up to him to stay home from school. His father said his son's attendance was family business and should not be controlled by the schools. The attendance counselor noted that in her report that the dad said he did not finish high school, and if Carl didn't finish high school, he could go to work with him instead and forget about finishing school. And Carl's personal data indicates that he has a younger brother or sister in the feeder middle school program. Moving on to John. He's a quarterback of the football team. He suffered an injury during the school district's football jamboree prior to Labor Day, and he was unable to play in the first 2 games of the season, but the doctor granted him permission to play the remainder of the season as long as he continued physical therapy. The thing is, physical therapy can only be scheduled on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. This means he would have to be missing school. A note from the athletic director requested he be excused from school from Friday afternoon so he can go home and rest during the football season. John had missed the afternoon classes 3 days a week, but his teachers did not report any of his absences as unexcused. They were all excused absences, and none of them were seen as excessive. Laws violated. In Section 2, report any legal and ethical issues. The state law was violated with the district policy, which is aligned with the state. The parens parity, which is the juvenile justice system. The law allows the state to step in and serve as a legal guardian for children and persons who are unable to care for themselves. The homeroom teachers and the athletic director knowingly have let the students miss more than 3 days for personal reasons. The parents are taking their kids' own hands and telling the attendance counselor the family business overrules the attendance of the school, so the parents are disregarding all of the laws of the state and the policies of the school. Moving on to the ethical issues. The teachers and parents and the athletic director are harming the sanctity of the school. The development of the student is being damaged. The school improvement process is being harmed. The moral code of contracts is being violated by teachers and the athletic director. They're doing this by not holding athletes to the same standards as other students, enforcing policies and excusing students for missing school for invalid reasons, and they're not enforcing the grading policy. Moving on to Section 3, synthesize exactly what happened in a single sentence. The school personnel and parents are knowingly disregarding school policies and breaking state laws for students so they can be excused for missing school for unacceptable reasons. Moving on to Section 4, synthesize the facts. The known facts as far as the people in this case is Mr. Rhodes, he's a first-year principal. Dr. Newman, he is the superintendent. We have Karen, Tyrone, Christina, Carl, and John. They have been identified for multiple attendance violations. And the homeroom teachers are using their personal discretion in excusing absences. The athletic director has excused athletes' absences. And certain parents are aware of the violations but just do not care. The unknown facts about the people, Is there any specific demographic students who are consistently absent? Is there a past history of absenteeism among these students? Has there been any tragic change in the students' lives that would explain the attendance pattern issues? And how many students have been allowed to miss school for invalid reasons by the athletic director or teachers, other than these 5? I'm assuming if there's these 5, there's probably a lot more going on there. Moving on to the known facts about the place. Oak Grove High School is located in a suburban area. Most are middle-income families. Most parents have 1 to 2 hour commute to work each day. The community is becoming more diverse with an influx of Hispanic and Asian families. The attendance rates have dropped the past few years, which is affecting the student development. And the unknown facts, how do the students get to school? Are there other schools in the area having the same issues? Is the state going to intervene and do something to the school for all the multiple violations that they have? And does the school have a system in place for monitoring these attendance issues? And moving on to the program, the known facts is the school serves 965 students in grades 9 through 12. There are 11 different team sports. Football is the most dominant sport. The school has an additional 31 different clubs for all students to be involved in some kind of school sponsored activity. And the unknown facts about the program, is there any assistant principal or any academic counselor be able to help with this principal with such a large student body? Moving on to section 5, review and prioritize the information. Could the conflict, the situation, or the decision damaging the stakeholders or to the community? Unnecessary absences by the students leads to truancy, which personally turns into the dropout retention. There is a possibility the stakeholders may be upset with the decision, which could negatively impact the improvement. What individuals and groups have an important stake in the outcome? I feel the parents have a significant role in the education of the students, because the parents' values of education will potentially have a better outlook on. If parents have a good outlook, the students are going to have a good outlook on school as well. The school personnel / athletic director have an important stake for the students attending classes, because it helps with student development when they're in class completing assignments. Members of the community with the development of students, since they are ultimately going to work in the community, we actually need them in school, getting the education so they're able to go back, and we need everyone to be on board to actually get everyone focusing on the right mission. Have all the relative stakeholders been consulted? I still need to contact the parents of each student. I still need to talk with the teachers individually and see why the absences were not recorded. I need to talk with the athletic director to discuss the violations of the district and state policy. I need to have a meeting with the staff to reinforce the importance of following the law and the district policies. I need to report all the findings to the superintendent as well. Can I learn more about the situation? By visiting with the relative stakeholders, I can learn a lot more. Do I know enough information to make a decision? Presently, I do not have enough information. I still need to have conversations with the relevant stakeholders before I can make a final decision. Moving on to section 6, identify options and possible consequences. Option 1, I can do nothing. The attendance issues would just get worse, and I could be terminated, and a lot more people could be terminated. Option 2, the discipline of the staff involved. I could discipline all staff involved. The individuals would receive repercussions for their actions. Option 3, address the entire staff and the student body. This would show that I am aware of the situation and I am addressing the situation. In option 4, I could report this to human resources, have the human resources department get involved with the decision and not just leave the whole decision up to me, since they are not only violating state laws, but they're also violating district policy. In option 5, I could report the students to the truancy officer. The development of the students might improve. It also might not improve. It might also have a negative impact. Option 6, I can meet with the parents. I can educate parents about the laws and policies of the state and the district when it comes to students being in school. Moving on to section 7, evaluate your options. Option 1, do nothing. The pros of this, I will not upset the staff, students, and parents, upset anybody. The cons, the attendance rates will not improve. The school development of and the school improvement will become even more serious. And I would not be modeling an ethical behavior, and this would show how the stakeholders, I don't really care about the school, and I'm just going to school each day, and I'm not really caring if the students show up to class or not. Option 2, I can discipline all staff involved. The pro to this would be that would stop the breaking of the laws and the policies. The con is this would possibly hurt the morale of the school and possibly break some trust issues between the administration and the staff. And I am unsure how many instances have happened over the years and exactly how many of the other teachers have been involved in the past or maybe still currently involved. Option 3, I can address the entire staff and student body. The pro to this would be the same message would be delivered to everyone. My expectations would be voiced and heard, and I would make sure that everyone understands. Any questions that had to be asked would be able to be asked. I'd be able to answer those. The con for this, individuals may feel that I'm putting individuals in the spotlight and I'm making a public display of their mistakes. The trust could be broken and teachers and the students could be rather upset. Option 4, I could report this to human resources. The pro of this would be the stop the breaking of the law and the school policies. The con would be that this would portray to the staff that I did not properly communicate and I am letting human resources take care of the problem. Moving on to option 5, I would report the students to the truancy. The pro of this would be letting the courts be involved and they would be bound to follow the letter of the law. The con of this would be this opinion shows that the school does not communicate with parents and that I'm allowing the school personnel to act unethically and receive and without any disciplinary action on their own part, especially since this has gone on and it's all been marked excused, even though I'm the person in charge and my staff is doing unethical things. So it all does reflect back on me. Option 6, meet with the parents. The pro to this would be to show that I'm willing to work with the students and I am looking for the student development. It would be seen that I am monitoring the situation and I have an open lines of communication. It would give them the opportunity to let the issue be resolved and see that we wouldn't be bound by the letter of the law. But if it did continue, I would be saying we would have to report this issue, go through the court system if this these attendance issues were going to continue. The con would be I would just not be enforcing the law. For that one, it's actually not it's only really one bad thing. It's just not enforcing the law would be the only bad thing. Moving on to section 8, we have the choose the best option. I think that these 3 options, option 3, address the entire staff and student body. This meeting would let the staff and students know that I am aware of the situation and I'm going to let everyone hear the same message. I'm not going to be singling anyone out. I'm just going to have 2 separate meetings and have everyone know that this is going on and this is going to stop. Option 4 would be report this to human resources, and the administrative office would know that I'm following the district policy. And option 6 would be meet with the parents. Communication would be open and that would make sure that all the laws and policies are being relayed so they know what to expect next in the next step in the process. Section 9, imagine implementing this for my own decision. My path, I would have a staff meeting. I would make copies of the state and district policies for everyone. I would talk about each policy with the staff, meet with human resources, and identify the personnel and discuss disciplinary action. Would have everyone there, have an all-school assembly to discuss the policy. I would communicate with the parents and the state about the state laws and the district policy. I would have a town hall meeting inviting all the parents to listen and come voice their questions. And I would set individual meetings with the 5 families of those parents to kind of explain everything and how everything is going to go. What may happen, all the staff, students, and parents are going to hear the same message. Student attendance would improve, would help the students' development in all of the schools' improvement. Who needs to know? The staff needs to know. I believe the students, the parents, and the superintendent, they would all have to be involved in this. And can I deal with the persons involved on my own? The answer would be I would not be able to deal with this on my own. I would need support from the staff, the students, the parents, and the district office. And as far as warned, don't threaten, but the meeting, I'm explaining to the district the policies. I'm showing that I'm aware of the practices, and I'm putting a stop to the ethical behavior. I'm not going to threaten or anything. I'm just going to state the facts, and this is the process of everything that's going to happen if this does continue. And what next? What's the next plan if this doesn't work? For the students and the parents, I would have to enforce the truancy laws, and the staff would be immediately reprimanded and reported to the superintendent, and they could possibly look at being terminated. Thank you very much.